Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It, a show that explores how to upgrade your lifestyle through life lessons, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Here's your hostess, SaCola Lehr. Hi there, guys. This is SaCola Lehr here of the Work It, Live It, Own It podcast. And I just had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Nicole Beck of SpecPros Incorporated. That is a local North Carolina home inspection company that services the Triad area in the state of North Carolina. But we didn't just sit down and talk about just home inspections as far as the state of North Carolina, but just home inspections in general. And here are some takeaways that I want to just bring out and reiterate to you. Number one, home inspections are not required. They're not required, but it is good to have because during that time of what we call the due diligence period, where you are being the Sherlock Holmes, you are being the investigator, making sure that you are actually purchasing a sound property, a good investment. It's a lot of money, guys, on the line. So whether you are a real estate investor and you are a general contractor and you know how to fix those things, that's great. But a lot of people in general don't know how to fix those things and repair them. And so you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times sellers don't know that if they've been living in a home for 40 years or they bought the home 5 years ago, they may not have gotten an inspection. So again, it is left up to you what you want to do. But hey, I would encourage you as a trusted advisor, as a real estate agent, to get the home inspection, not only to make sure that you're getting a sound investment, but it also gives you some negotiation leverage. That's right. During this time period where you are being the detective of your home, you want to make sure that you are getting a sound investment, and that may lead to room for negotiations. Nicole and I also talked about additional inspections. As a home inspector company, they are not required to do any type of specific inspections. Their inspections are general and broad view inspection of the overall view of the home. But there are times where me as a realtor, I encourage my clients to get a separate HVAC inspection because it depends on how old the system is. If the sellers actually know how old the system is, or if they don't know. We don't know if that system is actually working because during a home inspection, their job is to turn the air on, turn the heat on to make sure those things are working. But an actual HVAC specialist can actually open up that unit, delve inside to see if someone did a little DIY work themselves and it may not be up to code or standard. So here are some additional home inspections that may be required. If you're doing FHA or VA, and it depends on the type of property, if it's well or septic, your appraiser or your lender may require that you do a septic inspection or a well inspection. And the well inspection is just to test the quality of the water, make sure there's no E. coli in the water. And then, of course, your septic, making sure that the septic is functioning properly the way that it should be. Next up is pest inspections. If you're getting a VA loan, then you may be required, 9 times out of 10, yes, you are required to get a pest inspection or termite inspection to make sure that the home is in good shape. And so they're going to be checking for termites, carpenter ants, mice, any other types of wildlife in the home. So again, these pests can create havoc on a property, any kind of property. So that's why the VA department will require a pest or termite inspection. Next is radon. Now, generally, radon tests are conducted over a period of 48 hours, and recently I've heard that it can be a shorter time period, but they leave this test canister or radon testing machine within the home in the lowest livable area. If the home has a basement, they're going to put it down in the basement and to make sure that there's no evidence of radon. There may be levels of radon. However, anything that is higher than a 4.0, then they're going to say, hey, this needs to be mitigated and fixed. And then that's when a separate radon mitigation specialist will come in to do that. It's not a fire alarm emergency, but again, it's also important for you to understand that it is something that needs to be taken care of if it's a 4.0 or higher. Next is mold testing. For those who are very sensitive to mold and mildew, this is something that is good for you if you are worried about those things that may be potentially lurking behind the walls. Again, we don't see what we don't see. The sellers see the walls. They don't know what's lurking on behind there. But if that is a concern to you, then yes, I recommend that you do get a mold inspection, because these inspectors are going to use moisture meters to determine whether there are any water present or cause for concern. The thing that I like about working with SpecPros is that they can see a little bit of moisture evidence and things that you need to potentially look out for. And that has actually saved one of my past clients in negotiations as well. Lead paint inspection. This comes to when a home has been built prior to 1978. If the home has been built prior to 1978, then it has the potential, not a guarantee because it could have been mitigated, but lead-based paint could possibly be present. And it's very common in older homes because of the type of paint that they were able to use back then. Now, buyers are not required by law to test this, but it is usually encouraged if you have reason to believe that there may be lead-based paint. And as a seller, if you're selling your home and that home was built prior to 1978, then you are required to present a lead-based paint addendum that says that you have knowledge or you don't have any knowledge, or if the lead-based paint has been mitigated and or removed. So this is just a recap of the importance of getting a home inspection, whether it's an existing home, new construction. Guys, do your due diligence. Be that detective when it comes to your home. Now, as a trusted advisor, I always advise my clients. I tell them, look, we're looking for major things. We're looking for structure issues, systems issues, maintenance, repairs, as far as the major big ticket items that are not functioning, the roof, the plumbing, the HVAC. We're looking at those things and structure. You want to have an inspector to go in and look at those things. If those things are awry, they're not working properly, then yes, look at those items. But if a kitchen doesn't have a GFCI outlet, that's not something that is going to be a fire alarm emergency. And the seller is not necessarily responsible for updating that or replacing that. Again, it's up to you as the buyer to do your due diligence. If you have any further questions about home inspections, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And don't forget to like this video, give me some feedback, and comment if you would like to receive more information about these types of things. But also don't forget to subscribe and follow. If this episode is important to you, then go ahead and click that download button or flag it so that way you'll have it saved. All right. Until next time, guys, and don't forget to work it, live it, own it in your everyday lives. Take care.